Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Two Shores, One Story. I'm your host, Matthew, and I'm back from Ehime. Woohoo! It was a very interesting trip, rewarding, lots of Mikan. Let's just go from the start. So, as you know, from last episode, I was packing. I finished packing, maybe. I lost my handkerchief, and I rambled on that for a bit. And then the next day, I was supposed to go to Ehime on the train. But that did not happen. What? No, it didn't happen. Unfortunately, Takayama decided to have heavy rain on the day that I was supposed to go on my trip. And because of heavy rain, it may have, caused flooding. It didn't. I don't think it did. But there was a risk, right? So because of that, the trains were not going to Nagoya, which is where I needed to go. I needed to catch a train from Takayama to Nagoya, and then I could take the Shinkansen, and then I could take a third train that is a special express train. And that did not happen. So I figured something out. I just figured something was wrong when I went on Google Maps to see my route, and the time that I was supposed to go was not listed. I'm like, this is not good. But I still, woke up before 6:30. I went to the train station that's by my house at 6:30, and the train was supposed to come at 6:29, and there was no train, and I decided that I would wait until 6:35 in order to go. Nothing happened, so I thought, I'll just go to the station to see what's happening. The other station in the big city. So I drove to a parking lot, stayed there left my car there and went to the big station to find a huge line of people. And yeah, it was going to be a long day. I knew at that moment it was going to be a long day. I maybe stood in line for 30 minutes or more. It felt very long and I was very tired. Only to, I just asked, what could I do? Can I wait, or is it coming? What other way can I go to Nagoya? And basically they told me that I could get to Nagoya by going to Toyama, and then from Toyama I would go to Suruga to Maihara, and then Maihara all the way to Nagoya. And I asked, how long would that take? And he said 8 hours. And I thought, that's not going to happen. I can't wait that long. Especially when it takes around the same time to drive. So I asked for a refund of my tickets, which they were great and allowed me to do that. And I decided to drive. Which is, if you know me, that's a big deal because I don't really drive that long. I think the longest I've driven was maybe 3 hours. And I have driven a lot more in Japan. In Canada, I drove only in my small town. And when I did have to go to the big city, it was when I had to go back to the city that I lived in for university. I went there to, what did I do? Say hi to friends. This is during 2020. I said hi to friends, and the next time I went there, I had to move out. And then I haven't driven that long since. And that was only 4 hours, right? So this 9-hour trip was a big deal. And it was raining as well. It wasn't maybe the safest thing to do, but I was so determined to go to Ehime and see my friend and have a break, a holiday. I just needed a break. So I went to McDonald's, got some food, also because I was a bit sad about everything, just ugh. So I got 2 hash browns, orange juice, I think I had some chicken nuggets as well. And then, yeah, I called my mom and dad just to tell them, like, hey, I'm driving now, just so they know. And I, yeah, I went on my way. And it started off wonderful. And I'm being very sarcastic because it was raining, right? It was raining. And I made it to the expressway and it was closed. And I didn't know what to do. So I just like, I, I ended up trying again, like just going around and coming back. And these two people were like, just, I think, trying to like guide traffic. And they're like, where are you trying to go? And I said, Ehime. And they're like, eh? Ehime? And I was like, yeah. So, anyways, I kind of figured out that the expressway would not be working. So I decided to have, I had a brain wave, I guess that's what you call it. And I would use the free road, the Ipan, that's what they call it, the general road that you don't have to pay for. Um, Maybe I didn't mention this. I should mention this before, but there's some roads in Japan that you have to pay for, and they're toll roads, and you pay. I don't know how it's based, but maybe on distance or something. And there's like a lot of gates. So I have a card that's connected to my credit card, and I have a machine in my vehicle, and that is an ETC reader, and I have an ETC card. So basically, I can just drive through those gates without having to give like cash, and it loads it on my credit card, or it takes the money out of my credit card. So that's something that Japan has, and it's really nice because it gives you a little bit of a discount, and it's just more time saving because you don't have to like go through your wallet to find credit card or money to pay for the toll. And yeah, it's just a easier service. And some roads are only ETC, so you have to have the card, and I do, so that was good. But for the road that I was at was free. Now I went on Google, and sometimes Google sends you weird ways, and it did. I went up a mountain, and there was so many curves. It was rainy, it was misty. I was just like, what am I doing? I I didn't know. And then at the end, I just got it. I made it, and I was like, okay, I'll go. I'm going to another prefecture called Fukui, and then from there I can take the expressway. That's what I thought. I went down the road. I made it, and I saw this barricade in front of me. So I'll try my best to be descriptive, but I'm not the greatest. But on the right side, there was a metal gate type of thing. Not a gate, but just type of an obstacle. And on the left side, there was two pylons that had some distance, and connecting those pylons was like a plastic rod. So, behind that barricade, there was a car, and they were like putting their warning signals on. And I think they were like wondering what to do. And I was also wondering the same thing. I did not know what to do. I was like, why are these in the way? What do I do? So they ended up turning around, but they were on more of a better road than I was. When I reversed to try and get out and go back up the mountain, I was going down. It was a bit steep, and I just didn't really have enough room. It wasn't very safe for me to turn around. So I did pull a foreigner move, and I moved the pylons out of the way. And I just drove through, and I put it back and went on my way. Nothing bad happened, so that's good. But I just, at that point, I just almost lost hope about not being able to go to Ehime, and I just had to do it. And luckily, I have a K car, a small car, so I was able to get through, and that was really good. Thank the Lord. So yeah, I drive to Fukui. I get off the road. At some point I need a break, right? So I'm getting lunch. I find this nice little area and I got a really nice tonkotsu katsu don thing, which is a pork cutlet on rice, a rice bowl, and it was really tasty. The pork was kind of schnitzely, unlike what is normal. I don't know how you would explain it normally, but this one was really tasty, and they had a really nice big bowl of miso soup, which is I really needed that after what I've been through already. And yeah, so I went to Fukui. And then from Fukui, I drove all the way. I think I had a bit of a break somewhere, maybe just to go to the bathroom. I don't know. I don't really remember. And then I went to Himeji City. Now, at Himeji City, before I'll talk about this, but before it was rainy, but it wasn't that bad, or it was like pretty okay. But then at Himeji, it was awful. I couldn't see really, like I was not, the visibility was terrible. It was misty, maybe a bit foggy. It was raining like so much. My wipers were all the way and it was still not enough. And I really relied on the cars in front of me, like their lights, because I couldn't see. And I was really freaked out at that point because I was like, that's not really the best situation to be in. So I was praying, unashamed. I was praying. I was like, Lord God, please help me. And he did. So that's good. I did make it through and it calmed down a little bit. And then I don't really remember what I did. I think from Himeji, I drove all the way to Saijo City in Ehime. And that was my trip there. And that was Monday. I was supposed to be there if I was going on the train. I was supposed to arrive at 1:17, and I did not arrive at 1:17. I arrived at like 8 p.m. I think. And I was really tired. Near the end of the trip, I was really nice. I got to go on this really cool bridge, the Oseto Hashi, the Oseto Bridge, and it was very cool. But I was just so tired. I drove for 9 hours. Almost 9 hours, maybe with breaks in between, but the trip was 9 hours or more, and it was, oh my gosh. I've never driven that much, ever in my life. But on a whim, I did. And that just shows how much I really wanted to go to Ehime. I really did. I just wanted a break. And I knew the next day that we would be cycling, and I wanted to do that, so I had to be there on Monday. Like, there was no option, no choice. Yes, so I arrived. I met my friend, my university friend, who I haven't seen, I don't know, like since 2022. And he's been in ALT for 4 years. This will be his 4th year, maybe. So, it was good. It was really good to see him. And after I got settled in or put my stuff in my hotel, we went to an izakaya and got our yakitori. We had yakitori, which is a chicken skewer. So we got different types of meat. We got chicken, 2 types of chicken. One was chicken and onion, green onion, which is always good. We got a different type of chicken. We got pork belly, and we got gyoza, but instead of the normal gyoza, the wrapper was chicken skin. Crazy. The filling was the same, I think, but yeah, it was chicken skin. And I guess that's something that maybe that place is known for, or Ehime. I don't really remember, but it was good. Then we went to Lawson. Yeah. We went to a kombini, got some stuff. I got some orange, like Mikan flavored gummies that are really tasty. They're really, really good. And they're made out of, or made, maybe the brand is pone juice, and they also make a drink. So I got that, and I got pone juice. Because when you're in Ehime, you have to have Mikan. And that's what I did. So after that, after that experience, I was better. I felt better. I felt more awake. And immediately I was like learning about the history because my friend knows a lot about Ehime. And he was telling me, like, he was like, oh yeah, see that like train there? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, it's there. It's like it looks like a Shinkansen right now. Like, yeah, it does. Because the person that invented the Shinkansen was from Ehime. Whoa, so cool. I had no idea. But there isn't a Shinkansen that goes directly to Ehime. Bit odd, hey? At least I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, but yeah, he was from Saijo, whoever the person is. So great job, dude. Thanks for making the Shinkansen for all of us. It's very nice to have. And that was the first day that was the first day in Ehime. The second day, I woke up very early. Well, we had to catch the train at 9:20, so I woke up maybe 8:30. I got ready at 9:10 or 9. I got breakfast quickly, and I was kind of freaked out because I needed to get breakfast and go on the train like very soon. And this older woman was getting so many things. I thought I was going to be late, but I wasn't. So I made it, and I thought my friend was gone. I thought he was in a different place, but he met me at this train station, so that was good because sometimes I have issues with trying to find which train I'm supposed to be on or not, but since he was there, he knew what to do. So yeah, that was good. I saw nice views of Ehime, and we made it to Imabari, and that's where the cycling started. Now, I had no idea about this cycling thing. I knew he invited me, and I was like, yeah, like I like cycling. And what I meant by that is that I like biking for 10 minutes. Like, I don't really cycle at all. I don't do that. It's not something I've ever done in my entire life. I do like biking around a little bit, right? So I thought this thing would be like a pretty easy thing. And he's like, yeah, there's like some hills. That's what he's saying. I'm like, okay. No, this thing was crazy. We biked for 8 hours. 8 hours. And it was awful. It was not fun at all. It wasn't good. But the views were amazing. I got to see the inland sea. I got to see so many islands. I saw the sunset. I saw the sunrise. I saw the sunset. Kind of, not really, but it was a long day, right? Anyways, what this thing was, it's called the Shima. What is it called? Shimanami Kaido. That's what it's called. And what you do is you bike across 6 islands. You go uphill, you go across a bridge, you go downhill, you go through an island, and you go on and on and on until you reach Hiroshima on the main island. So I just had to laugh because, it took me 9 hours to get from the mainland to Shikoku. And the next day, not even 24 hours later, I have to go back. It was just like, are you serious? I did all that. Anyways, yeah, so I was not prepared for this thing. I think within maybe the first 30 minutes, we're going uphill, and I already need a break because uphill is just terrible. And oh my gosh, was that a sign that I never knew? Because going uphill is so hard. You have to set your bike. This bike that we had, you can get different bikes, so I will maybe change the bike next time, We got the basic bike. That's $30 equivalent. The next bike is an electric assisted bike, and then the other one is an e-bike. And those are probably better for you if you don't know how to do anything, or you don't have the leg strength to go uphill like I did. But I didn't know any better. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take the cheapest bike. And it had some settings, but maybe not enough for me. So basically, you could pick between 3 gears, 1, 2, and 3, and then you could pick the speed, and that was up to 8. 1, 2, 8. So I learned that if you're going uphill, you need to have lower gear with lower speed. So I would maybe go from 1 to 4 on the speed and set my gear to 1. If I'm going like flat, then I can set it to middle, 2, and then have 5 to 6. And then if you're going downhill, you want a higher gear. So you set your bike to 3, and then you can pick a speed between, 6 to 8. So that was all great in theory, but it was hard to figure out what speed my legs felt good at. And sometimes I would have to go like uphill, and it would be 1 and 1, 2, and it was so hard to get up. It was so hard. Oh my goodness. It was difficult. And yeah, and then we had to do that 6 times. Go uphill. And yeah. Anyways, going uphill was awful. It was just terrible. But going downhill was fun. That was great because I didn't have to do any pedaling. So I really appreciated those times. I liked going on the bridge. Those were fun because sometimes they were mainly like kind of downhill. So I appreciated that. And of course the view. Yeah, I got to see the water and it was really great. Really great view. So yeah. At one point, we kind of have a break after 2 bridges. I think we have a break. We eat lunch. I got fried chicken and rice and an ice cream. I got some souvenirs. I got a towel because, I got the towel for myself, but I didn't need a towel because I had a handkerchief. But good thing to note, if you are going to do the bike trip in the summer, bring a towel because I was sweating so much. It kept going in my eyes. It was just terrible. A really awful experience, actually. But anyways, we went on our way, and that was our only time to really have some type of food. So I'm glad we ate a lot then. And what else happened? Well, we went on our way. And, nothing too extravagant happened after that. The only fun thing I will mention is that at one point, my friend is really good at cycling and he has a really good pace and I don't. So he kept going very far away from me. And, I thought this was going to be like a trip that we can talk while biking, but no, that was not the case. We talked a little bit, but primarily he was in front of me. So at one point, I saw him turn downhill and I go downhill. And then I go downhill and there's 2 paths. And one is, I was pretty sure it was for the bikes because they're marked by a blue line. So I was like, okay, I'll go down this one. Now I'm zooming down and I still don't see him, even though I know he went in front of me. So I was thinking that he went a different path than I did. So somewhere safe, I decide to slow down and stop and get off my bike and call him. So I'm calling, and then I was like, well, I'll just walk down. And then I see him and he's waiting for me. And I was like, oh no. So I did go the right way. I just was slow. And that's what he told me. So yeah. Then the other thing, the last stretch of the trip, going uphill, very steep hill. It's the worst hill. My right leg, my right thigh starts cramping. I can't I can't move my legs. I can't go up. It's just terrible. And I did try to go for a bit, but I was just really bad. So I had to get off my bike and I was like kind of limping up the hill. It was great. And I did after a bit my thigh was better. So I did bike the rest of the way. But oh my goodness. And yeah, that was fun. And so, just during this whole thing, it's a lot of leg power, as I said. So my legs were hurting very badly. They were very sore. And I got very bad sunburns on my legs. Even though I applied sunscreen like 3 or more times, I still got sunburned. I think just with all the sweat, it just washed away the sunblock. I have no idea, but that's my theory. And honestly, it was like a rectangle, like pretty. It covered all of my leg up until my knee, pretty much, just the top of my leg. Also, it got my calf area and my ankle just above the sock. And oh, it was just awful. And on top of that, our seats were so terrible that me and my friend kept having, like, it was just awful. Like, the seats were so hard and it hurt. My back was hurting as well sometimes, carrying the backpack. And, like, it just was awful. Just so much pain and sweat, and it wasn't fun. But it was rewarding. And I was watching a YouTube clip yesterday of a pretty famous J-vlogger, a Japanese vlogger. He's not Japanese, but he lives in Japan. And he did that same trip. So if you want to see what it's like, you can look at Chris Abroad's Shimanami Kaido video, and you can kind of get an idea. He went the opposite way though. So he went from Hiroshima to Ehime, and we went from Ehime to Hiroshima. But what he says in the video really resonated with me is because, it hurts. It's not good, but it's rewarding. And I did agree with that. It wasn't fun. It wasn't like, if you want to have fun, I wouldn't suggest it. Really, I would not suggest it. But if you want to feel rewarded, and it's a really great experience to be able to bike. I've never done that ever in my life, like bike that much, over 8 hours. If you are wanting to do it, I would suggest for you to wear pants so that you don't get a sunburn like I did, because it was really painful. I would suggest for you to get a bike that has more function so that when you are uphill, you won't die like I did. I would suggest for you to get a seat cushion because, oh my gosh, it hurt. Yeah. So we finish. We put our bikes on a ferry, on a little boat. We go with it, and we end up in Hiroshima and Oshima City. Me and my friend were struggling. We were so sore that even going upstairs was awful. But we did it. We got there around 6 p.m. and we got home around 9 p.m. I think. So I took a bath that day. I tried to get cold water on my legs as fast as possible, and I went to bed. And that was Tuesday. That was my first real day in Ehime. And oh my goodness, what a day it was. The next day was more calm because my friend was working, and I just spent the day. I just went to a cafe that he suggested, and I really liked it. I actually went there twice that week. It's called Cook's, and they do bagels, and then from 2 they do French toast. I never had the French toast, but their bagels are really good. So you can pick the flavor of the bagel itself, and then you can pick the filling. So I picked a cranberry bagel, and I got cream cheese and marmalade. So you can kind of choose like a savory bagel, or you can get cream cheese and something else. And because I was in Ehime, of course I had to get marmalade because it's made out of oranges. So I did that, and it was a really, really great brunch. It was just delicious. I had that, the bagel, there was french fries and pumpkin soup. So that was really tasty. And I also had orange juice, of course. Then after that, I wanted to read at the cafe, but I wasn't too sure if I was allowed to because they maybe were busy. So I decided to go to a library instead. And I read there. I read for about an hour. Then I took a break, got some Aquarius, a sports drink, to replenish myself. Then I came back, read for a bit more, and then I kind of got bored of reading and I wanted to do something else. So I just did I had a little drive, and I didn't really have anywhere set on my GPS, on where to go. I just followed the wind or just looked at roads, and I found, well, nothing really cool until I hit up the marine park, which is just a beach park. There was palm trees. There were so many people camping and doing barbecues and people swimming in the pool. So I just sat in the shade and watched people, looked out into the ocean, and it was great. And then my friend was finished work, but he had to clean. So I'm asking him what else to do. And I go to an onsen that's connected to, I guess it used to be a bronze mine, but now they do an amusement park thing. But from 5, the onsen is open. And I go in, I do all the stuff, and I like to go to the hot outdoor bath first. So I went there, and I go in, and I realize I have made a big mistake because I have a sunburn on my leg, and it was still stinging. And with the hot water was not good. So I find a nice, well, it's still hot, it's still warm, but it's a bit cooler. So I was able to go in there, and then I go into the cold pool. And I just don't know how Japanese people do it, because they go straight from the sauna, so they're hot, and they go directly in to this cold pool, and they go up to their necks. And I don't know how they do it without hyperventilating, because I can hardly put my legs in without shaking and having to really focus on breathing. It's just embarrassing. And I'm Canadian. I should be used to the cold, but I'm not. And they are, and what's their secret? I want to know. Anyways, so the first time it took me a while, and I barely got my legs in the first time. Then I go back into the cold or the warmer onsen that I was able to enjoy, and I go back in, and I was like, I sucked it up, and I was like, I just have to go in. So I went up until my hip, and that was all I needed for my legs to be good, or to be submerged and cool. So I did that. That was my last one. And then I picked up my friend, and we went to this Vietnamese restaurant to meet my other friend that I met at a pedagogy, or the Japanese pedagogy course that I did in May. So that was really good. And then, well, we had, food. I got a banh mi with yakiniku, so kind of like barbecue. And I got satsuma imo fries. So that's sweet potato fries, but it's a different variety of sweet potatoes. Then Thursday was an interesting day because we were going to Matsuyama, which is the biggest city in Ehime. Maybe it's the capital of Ehime. I don't remember, but I think it is. So we go there. Well, first we have we go to Blue Seal Ice Cream, which is an Okinawan brand of ice cream that's very famous. And we all got ice cream, and it was super tasty. And my friend, I didn't know this, but my friend seems to be like an ice cream connoisseur. He loves ice cream, and I didn't really know that, but he loves ice cream. So he's telling me all about ice cream in Japan, and I didn't know this. And I will tell you because I think it's interesting. But Japan marks on packaging clearly about the milk content of the ice cream. So if a package says ice cream, it has a lot of milk content in it, maybe 100%. But there's another ice cream, it might say rakuto ice cream, like lact ice cream. And that's just like a little bit of milk content, and then it's substituted with oil and stuff. I didn't know that. So that was really interesting. So you see on packaging, you can look on the actual packaging and it will tell you. And I was like, that's really interesting. So he's like pointing out to me all these ice creams. Like, this is ice cream. It says ice cream on it. But this is lakuto ice cream. I was like, wow, that's very interesting. Anyways, blue seal is probably ice cream. And it was very good. Then we go to an island. And it's near Matsuyama. It's called, what is it called? Nashima, I believe, or Kashima. And it's the kanji for it is Deer Island, and that's basically what it is because there's deers on the island. They don't roam free though, but they have their an open space. Anyways, me and my friend walk up the mountain, and it's about like 10 to 50 minutes. It feels like forever, especially with my, sore legs. And well, at the time they weren't that sore, but because of my sunburn, they were hurting. And we go up to an observatory deck, and we get to see all around, and it's just beautiful ocean, beautiful sea water. Then we go down, and we get off. We go on the ferry, and I say ferry, but it's like a 3-minute boat ride, and then you get back on the mainland. So it's kind of funny that way. Then what do we do? We go to Matsuyama Center. And at Matsuyama, there's a famous onsen called Dogo Onsen. It's maybe one of the oldest onsen in all of Japan. And it's very famous because of that. Now, I wasn't too sure if I could do it because it's, older. So they only have like one bath. And it won't have cold water, which is what I need. So we go to check other places as well. They don't have a cold bath as well. So I was like, well, we're here and I should come here. I should go to that onsen because I'm in Matsuyama. I don't know if I'll come here again. It's like once in a lifetime maybe. So I bit the bullet and I went. Now, at this onsen, it was very popular, as I said, and there was a lot of people. So we had to like wait in line to clean ourselves, and then we can go into the water, the bath, and oh my goodness, it was hot. It was so hot. And I'm just like wincing a little bit because my ankles, can hardly go in. But I went in very slowly, got acclimated to the hot water, and I was able to go in all the way, and I was relaxed after that. It was a very interesting experience that way. So we spent a little bit of time there, but not that much because it was, deep in the summer and it was a lot of people and blah, blah, blah. So we went on our way to the shopping arcade, the Shotengai show, and many, many shops. What do we do? Well, if you want to have Mikan, there's this area where you can get Mikan from the tap. And I saw this on my friend's story when they visited my other friend. So I was like, I have to do that. So basically, it's just amazing. There's a line of different taps, different types of Mikan, like over 20. And you just get a little cup with the name of it, which is really handy. And you can select how much you want. So you can pick 3, 5, or maybe 10, I think. And you just fill the cup with the mikan that you want, and each mikan will also have like a list of or show you how sweet or sour or acidic it is. So I like sweet, so I got a lot of sweet uh, orange juice, mikan juice, and was able to try all of them. It was a really fun experience. I really liked that actually. And I found that I really don't like acidic because I did get some acidic, but yeah, I really do like sweet orange juice. And that was a really fun experience to do. Then I just went around and got different omiyage for my teachers because that's something that I always like to do is just get little souvenirs that I can give to my teachers. So mainly it's food. So I got some little orange cakes and orange tarts. And I got some orange gummies for my friends, my ALT friends. So I'm going to give some of that tomorrow when I see them. And I'm excited to do that. And what else did we do? Well, we had Chinese food. That was good. And then I went home. I went to checked into my hotel again. The next day, Friday was the last day I was in Ehime. That was a little bit sad, but I had a little secret project that I'll tell you about later with my friend. And then the next thing that we did is we went back to that cafe and had bagels again with my other friend that I met at the Japanese pedagogy, and us three then went to the science museum in Nihama, and it was really fun. We got to learn a lot about the history of different areas and different things that they're different products that they make, like paper, what was it? Paper, silk, pearls, trains, and different like other things. And then they have more, stuff that you see at other science museums, like body related stuff. And then they had a dinosaur thing. And that was the last thing we saw. We just had a lot of fun at the body area, just seeing like different things and testing the age of our blood vessels and whatnot. And it was really fun. Then after that, we picked up my friend's wife, and then we all went to this town called Doi, and there was fireworks. Now, I didn't know this, but there was also bon odori, and that is a type of dance for obon, which is a Japanese holiday that is meant to respect and maybe lead the ancestors to their resting place. So this happens every year, and maybe during this time people might go to visit graves and that kind of stuff. But so bon odori is the type of dance, and I've never done this dance before, so me and my friend learn, and it's really like a pretty simple like choreography. It's not difficult, mainly because everyone can learn it. But they were really nice. They let us like join in their group, their section, and we learned the dance. Then we had a break. Then we did it again, and we joined a different section then. And the person was very nice. This older woman, she gave me her fan. That was very nice. And I had a really great time doing that. And then we got to see these amazing firework displays, and they had 3 types of firework displays, and it just was better, like just so good. The second one was really amazing because they had lasers as well and music, and I've never seen that before, like lasers and fireworks. They were all just wonderful, and I had such a great time seeing that. And then after that, my friends and I end the night with karaoke, and I go to bed and wake up the next day only to drive 9 more hours, maybe more, to get home. And that was my Ehime trip. So what did I learn? Well, I've already talked about the bike stuff, so I will leave that. But I didn't know, like I knew about the Mikan, but I didn't know a lot about the stuff, like how Saijo, or a person in Saijo, created the Shinkansen. And then at the science museum, my friend was pointing out that he designed the Shinkansen based off a bird, because this bird can dive into the sea, or water can dive into the ocean without making any noise. So the way that the Shinkan is made, when it's designed in a way that when it goes through a tunnel, it doesn't make any noise. Otherwise, it'd be very loud. It's really cool and just so amazing that this little area can do this. It was really fascinating. So I also didn't know how many varieties of Mikan there were, and I got to taste 5 of them, and that was very interesting. So Ehime was very interesting. I would like to go again and try maybe go to different prefectures in Shikoku and visit more of Ehime. But yeah, if you guys have been to Ehime, please let me know how you thought of it. If you want to go to Ehime, please ask me questions. And I will talk to you next. Well, actually, forgot about it. I did tell you I wanted to tell you about the secret project. So, my friend who I went to visit will be on the show next week. And he is a very special guest. And I think I do talk about why that is. So please look forward to that episode because he talks a lot about Ehime. We kind of reiterate our trip, what we did, and he has a lot of insight on Ehime and just being an ALT as well. So if you're interested in being an ALT in Japan, or you're interested in Ehime from an Ehime local, because he's more local than I am, please listen to that show. I think it'll be very interesting. So yeah, please look forward to that. And until then, I will see you later.